And we want to welcome everybody to Regents Field for the Michigan Women's Hockey Coaches Show. And we're just going to make sure we are up and live before we hop into things. And it looks like everything should be good. There we go. It's the joy of the internet. So let's pull our lovely... There we go. We'll apply those changes. And now you should actually see Coach Trebbiano, who is here. So, again, welcome to Regents Field. We are live here every Wednesday from 6 o'clock. And this is a special day because it is the Washtenaw Dairy Fundraiser Day. So we want you to come on down to Regents Field. We'll be here every Wednesday at 6 o'clock. They have fantastic food. They have an amazingly stocked bar. And as you might be able to hear, they have free skee ball and free games that you can play. So wonderful, amazing stuff out there. Come on down. Today, we're going to keep it short. Because we do have the Washtenaw Dairy fundraiser that is happening right at 6:30. So get on down to Washtenaw Dairy. The Celebrity Scoopers, so the skaters will be there at 7 o'clock. So the players will start scooping at 7, and it goes till 9:30. So please get on out, have some wonderful ice cream. And if you can, come down to Regents Field, have dinner, then go to Washtenaw Dairy and get your dessert. So let us take a little bit of a look. Coach, you just came back from a trip to Canada. You were at Hamilton. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that and how that went?
I'd love to talk about that. So I was at the Stony Creek University Showcase, which this was the first year that they've opened it up to U.S. teams again. So it's a really big tournament for AAA level teams. So for those that don't know, AAA hockey in the States is the highest level for girls. There are no junior teams, so there are programs that go up to the 19U level. So women have the opportunity to post-grad, or if they have an early birthday, whatnot, and then they play essentially Canadian teams. So there were both U.S. and Canadian teams there. And it's a really big event to sort of kick off the season for the youth teams, the youth programs.
Yeah.
And I was fortunate to go this year.
Nice.
So I had played it the last time I was at those rinks when I played. So it was really cool to be there and see, some of my colleagues at the ACHA level, because I remember when I played, it was all NCAA coaches.
Sure,
So it's really cool to see that the ACHA is now recruiting, Canadian prospects as well as U.S. prospects. The Anaheim Lady Ducks were there,
nice.
Which was obviously a big trip for them. But
yeah, no doubt.
There were some teams that aren't going to make it out to the Metro Detroit area, so I think it was like a 3.5-4 hour drive. So I figured it would be worth it to just get out there and educate players and some of their parents on our program.
That's fantastic. And you had a good time? You got to connect with some fun players and other coaches and things?
Yeah, like a lot of educating.
Nice.
So, walking around the Michigan stuff, usually the first thing people stop me and say, Michigan has a women's ice hockey team? I'm like, they do. I am the coach. I played for the program. So it's exciting because I never had that opportunity to get educated on the Michigan women's hockey program, so I'm more than happy to educate anyone, and maybe we get on someone's radar that maybe did not know about us. So I've had one phone call this week so far. I talked with a couple students that were at the event at the showcase that I had been in communication with. I knew they were going to be there, so I watched them play. We talked about the application process, which November 1st is the early action deadline. So just making sure that their application's ready and good to go because hockey season is starting. And
absolutely,
especially at the youth level, it's a lot of traveling, and we're going to be really busy too. So it was a great opportunity to get out there and just teach people about our program.
Fantastic. I appreciate you doing that, and hopefully it was a fun trip out there, and I've always meant to stop by Hamilton and haven't had a chance, always driven past, so that's fantastic. It might not seem like it today because it's 80 degrees, again, a good day to get ice cream, but it is 9 days until Michigan takes the ice. So it is going to start off. Michigan will be playing Concordia at the Arctic Edge of Canton. That is going to be a 8:30 game. That is on the 29th. And then they will play Michigan State the next day. That going to be that Sunday, 2 p.m. at Mount Clemens Ice Arena. So please come on down. It's going to be the Michigan game, and then the Jets, the Metro Jets, will play right after that. So you can make it a doubleheader, and it's a fantastic time to get on out there. So that's 2 CCWHA opponents on the road in the first 2 games. So we could really use all the Maize and Blue faithful out there cheering on the team, and we'd love to see you out there and supporting them. So make sure you get on out. Today we want to take a moment and talk about the team leadership coming into this season. So let's start by talking about the captains and the alternate captains. Now, when I was growing up in this area, thinking about the word captain in hockey, I obviously think Steve Yzerman is kind of the name that pops in there. Now he's going to take the GM and make that as well. So we'll just think Stevie Y about everything, but that's okay. But besides having the letter on your sweater, what exactly is involved with being a captain?
So being a captain, you are the liaison between the head coach and the referee. So as a coach, I can't step on the ice. Mm-hmm. So if you're ever watching a game, typically the refs are trained to only listen to the captains.
Sure.
Because the captains, whether it's a C or an A, they are the ones that are communicating from the coaching staff. So if there's, if something could have been offside, but I want clarification, or there was a penalty, I'll ask our captains to go say, hey, ask the ref this, or ask them to come over so I can kindly talk with them. I'm not screaming at the referee, so they're sort of just that liaison.
Sure.
In addition, they are obviously leaders on and off the ice, and the way that they're selected is that the team votes, but then the coaching staff also is involved in the discussion because we're going to be the ones utilizing them in those scenarios.
Absolutely.
So in a way, they're an extension of us. So I'm really excited about the group that we have sporting letters this year.
That's fantastic. Who was the best captain you ever played with in your playing career?
Oh.
Not to put you on the spot and upset anyone. I'm sure they were all amazing, but...
One that's really sticking out in my head, and this is not at Michigan. When I was playing at Little Caesars, Cassidy Tucker, who went on and played at Princeton, and I actually skated with her this past summer, her and her family a little bit. But she was the captain when I came into the Little Caesars program. And she just, in my mind, she did everything
that's
as
what
a captain.
Set the bar for you as far as what you see. That's awesome.
Yep, and we're still friends, and it's super exciting to see what she's done. Her and her younger sister, who also played hockey, have started this clothing company called Deviate.
Oh, really?
Out of Detroit, yeah. So
Very
it's really cool to see what she's doing, and it's exciting because when we met each other, we were 14, 15, and now we're a little bit older and doing adult things. So it's really cool, and I'm proud to say that I know her.
That's wonderful. That's amazing. Someday I'll be an adult too, and it'll be wonderful. So you've been a captain with the Michigan team, an alternate and a captain. What is the hardest thing about being a captain?
I think being able to communicate with everybody. Everybody has a different communication style, so what motivates me might not motivate my teammates or a specific person. So just making sure that everybody's prepared. Hey, we're getting on 10 minutes early. We've got to be ready. Being a liaison of the coaching staff is probably the most important thing. But then also realizing that, we're leaders on this team. Everybody's looking up to us. And those roles need to be filled. In any team or group scenario, there's... I'm not sure if you're familiar with the stages of forming a team or a group, but we're sort of in that process right now where our leaders are learning how to lead.
Sure.
So it's super exciting to see them evolve. And obviously our captain, Katie German, she's a junior. So she's leading some seniors on the team too, which is really exciting, and I'm excited to see her grow.
Absolutely. Do you think that really helped you when you were first coming into coaching, having that captain experience and having that opportunity to lead?
Yeah, I definitely think so, because I got to know, obviously, the coaching staff and sort of what factors were going into some decisions they were making. So you just see it a little bit differently when you're wearing a letter, and you have to be, cognizant of what the coaching staff is looking for, and if there are any concerns, it's your responsibility to tell the coaching staff.
Absolutely.
So there's added responsibility as well.
Absolutely. So Katie German is going to be the captain for Michigan, and the alternates are Megan Matthews, Robin Goldman, and Kelsey Swanson as the alternates. What do you see in these players that will hopefully let them excel in those leadership roles?
I think the number one thing is the compete level. They all want to compete, and they're going to push the team and the players to be able to compete. We have obviously Katie German. Kelsey Swanson came from an NCAA D1 program, and she is ultra competitive on the ice. So we need her to, bring everybody to that level, because we're going to be a gritty team, and that's how we're going to score goals, and that's how we're going to win. And it's the same thing with Megan Matthews too. She's a competitor. She hates to lose, so she's super tough, and she plays really strong on the ice. She's a player that we can utilize in really any position. And then with Robin Goldman, she's the team president. She's super in tune with how the team's feeling, what does the team need, relaying that to the coaching staff. And I'm excited to see her sort of play both that president and captain role this year.
Which is a fantastic lead-in to talk about not only do we have the captaincy roles, but we have the executive board. And that's something that probably a lot of people, they see the captain do their thing and talk to the officials. You don't see the board and what they do.
Correct.
Behind the scene. So what exactly does the team president do for a team like an ACHA team like Michigan?
As a former president of the team myself, it's a lot of paperwork.
I don't doubt that.
So what the e-board does versus the captain, so the captains are more of like the in the rink, on and off the ice, leaders. Yeah. And then in terms of the e-board, it's more of the club sport compliance side. So making sure all of our paperwork's in on time, submitting travel requests, booking buses, booking meals, making sure that we have the excuse letters so that our students are excused when we miss class for trips. So it's really just making sure that everybody gets everything in on time, because if we don't get everything in on time, we can't travel. Yeah. Therefore, we can't compete. Therefore, we're not eligible for nationals. So every single game is especially important. Every single thing that we email about, at the beginning of the year, it's kind of like spam, because it's like, you need to fill this out, this out, this out. And they're really making sure that we've got all of our ducks in a row so that when it comes time to compete, we don't have to worry about that.
Fantastic. And it's just as you said, there's a lot of folks doing multiple leadership positions, and Robin Goldman is going to be the new president. What about Robin makes her a good president and makes it so she'll probably excel in this role?
She's a people person. Everybody loves her.
Nice.
She's fantastic with the coaching staff too. It's super easy to talk with her. She's always bouncing ideas off of us, and we're bouncing ideas off of her. So
love it.
I think the team really respects her and understands that, she's in a leadership position and she can get people to get things done, which is something we've struggled with in the past.
Fantastic. And then, again, filling multiple roles, Captain Katie German is going to be the vice president. Is that really just assisting the president, or is there any kind of special things that the vice president does?
Yeah, it's sort of like this, I think by definition it's supporting the president plus what the board needs. So I think Katie's roles this year, she's sending out rides for practice and for our strength and conditioning at Rusty Barbell.
Nice.
So she's essentially looking at, who's all coming based on their class schedule, or if people are ill, who has a car, who can drive, because obviously we don't want people walking around super late at night with their hockey bags on campus.
Absolutely.
So she's really organizing all of that, and because she was around this summer, I worked a lot with her to, hey, what do we need in terms of apparel?
Yeah.
Helmets, gloves. Like, these are all the things that we need, and I need your help so that we can obviously get them in before game start, which we've got everything, so we're good. But because she was around this summer, her and I worked together on a lot of things. So she helped out with some travel stuff. She did the apparel. She's doing rides. So she's sort of a jack of all trades. She can really fit in wherever she needs to. And she's obviously wearing the C this year. So it's cool to see her take on so much more responsibility than last year. Last year she was the recruiting chair.
Yeah.
So I worked with her a lot when I had students come to campus. She was sort of my go-to person. Like, hey, we've got, for example, Katie Cummings came to campus, and I was like, hey, Katie German, can you come help and just chat with her about like what your experience at Michigan's like? And she actually did the same thing for Emma Johns too. And
fantastic.
Then they found out they were both twins. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was
That's
really
wonderful.
cool. So she did a great job last year, and she met a lot of the students that are first year students this year. She met them last year because she was sort of the go-to person in terms of recruiting.
Yeah.
And Julia Lindahl will fill that role this year. So
nice.
Julia will be my go-to person when I need to connect a player with a current student, or if we have somebody coming to campus, Julia will be that first person that I reach out to.
You talk to them, show them what goes
Yep.
on and kind of what the life is of a player.
Exactly.
That's fantastic. Now, we know treasurers handle the money, right? That makes sense. But what does that mean for an ACHA team as far as being a treasurer?
Yes, so they are authorized signers. So what that means is they can deposit and move money by request within our account. So
Sure.
I don't have access to that. So like if we need to pay an invoice, I send it to them. They get it paid. If we obviously need to pay for a bus, they'll work and figure that out. So we've got 2 treasurers this year compared to 1 last year. So I feel really confident that we're going to be, doing pretty well in terms of tracking our money, just because the system that Club Sport uses is a little slow. So we're trying to make sure that we're current on every transaction.
So there is a specific program that they have you use at
Yes.
Michigan to, okay.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Yep. So they are authorized signers.
Nice.
So
nice.
I think we get 3, or each student-sponsored organization gets 3. So they're managing the money. Like if we need to deposit anything, it'll make its way to them. But yeah, they're sort of the money people.
Excellent. And that's going to be Izzy German and Mariana Ceballos. And so they're going to be the treasurers. And, it's not an easy job to do, and this is from someone who actually trains accountants on a daily basis as my day job. So much love to them taking care of all that stuff. And we talked a little bit about the travel coordinators last season, but it's worth repeating. What exactly do the travel coordinators do?
Travel coordinators submit the travel request to Club Sports. They will submit, like if we need buses, they'll submit the itineraries of like, okay, we need a bus to go to Mount Clemens. These are how many people are traveling. So they're really working on building out the itineraries of like, okay, when are our games? When do we have to leave? How much time do we have to leave? As a buffer, where are we stopping for food? Everything that the bus driver needs to see. And then in addition, just like building out the hotel rooms, making sure it's not the same people rooming together all the time.
Sure.
So a lot of the logistics of the travel, sending out Google Forms like, hey, we're getting Jimmy John's, like submit what you want so that I can obviously order the food and then we can
Put the
pick
order
it up.
in, it's there. Yeah.
Yep, then we don't have to wait, 2 hours to get food when we're traveling, which is obviously when you're a student, every second's important. So
Yeah.
they do a lot of the heavy lifting when we're on the road too. I think last year with Jamie McCarthy and Mickey Rubin, they sort of alternate, or they would alternate every trip.
Nice.
Just so it's, I guess, easier to keep track of, because it's easier to have one single point of contact on a trip than
That
it is
makes
to
sense.
have
That
2 or
makes
3 or 4. So I anticipate that's what's going to happen this year. I know we're not having those big trips like we did last year, but yeah, I think we've got some good stuff planned. So
St. Louis is not a short trip, and making it out to Lake State is good. So yeah,
definitely.
that's awesome. And that's going to be this year. It's Katie Christensen and alternate captain Megan Matthews are going to be the travel coordinators. And I assume they're already working hard trying to get the road trips scheduled and out there. And
Yeah, I think we've got everything solidified at this point.
that is awesome.
Which my recommendation is do it as soon as possible. Don't wait until the school year starts because that's when everybody gets slammed. So,
Yeah, no doubt.
You know, we learned things that moving into next year we'll take into consideration as well.
Do you have a kind of a transfer process where the outgoing people get to talk to the incoming people a little bit and kind of share some of that knowledge?
There's supposed to be some sort of like handoff meeting. I
Yeah.
know there's one specifically for the president. We have like, I guess, SOPs, you would call them,
Yeah,
in the corporate
yeah.
world of like, hey, this is what you do. This is when you need to do it. So I know there's documents like that exist. But with the splitting of the two roles of the treasurer and the travel coordinator, I'm not sure if the SOPs have been split up by position. But yeah, there should be some sort of transfer process. And I know the group from last year, I'm sure if any of our new leadership had questions, they'd be happy to help out. And, you know, I was the team president, also a captain, and Coach Carey was the team vice president. So last year we had sort of experience in all the roles. But yeah, they all really work together. That's the biggest thing. Like if somebody needs help, you know, someone else will pick up the legwork or get something done. So it's exciting to see how well they're working together already.
Absolutely. And coming up, so this weekend we have Alumni Weekend
We do.
going on. So what all does that consist of happening this weekend?
Yeah, I'm super excited. So we've got our intra-squad Maize and Blue scrimmage at Yost Ice Arena. It's going to start at 6:30 now. I know the graphic online says 6, but we pushed it back a little bit because we have some students that have class until 5 on Fridays, which I feel for them.
That's not fun. That's not fun at all.
Correct.
And unfortunately, get out to Yost because we won't be able to broadcast. We'll be doing the Pioneer Bedford football game. So please get on out. First chance to see the team. We'll broadcast as many games as we can and hopefully most of the other ones. But that one, come on out and check that out.
Yep, and that will be free admission. I know we're going to be, we might have some merchandise for sale.
Nice.
Basically trying to sell off our inventory that we had last year because we moved into the online platform for underground printing, which I think has worked out really well.
Absolutely.
Because we can have a wider selection, and then also Coach Joe last year was lugging all the merchandise back and forth
That
to the
could not
rink.
have been fun, yeah.
So it's actually all in my garage at the moment, but all the leftover stuff. We'll be trying to sell that. We'll have the link to our UGP store if anybody's interested. But yeah, it's just a really great opportunity to see the players that we have this year. We obviously had a large class graduate last year who we're going to miss, but we have 9 new players this year.
Absolutely.
And I'm really, really excited. You know, Coach Joe and I were like talking about the power play and the lines, and we're like, wow, like we're so excited.
That is
We're just so
awesome.
excited. We have a lot of players that are really excited too. So we're excited to have a game environment at Yost.
Yeah.
In somewhat of a controlled situation, but also hopefully we'll get some people in there. So we've invited alumni to that. I know some parents and guardians are coming into town.
Nice.
Which will be good because I'll get to meet some of them. And then we've got the football game on Saturday.
Absolutely.
And then on Sunday, we have our alumni skate. And I think we've got maybe 14 alumni
Okay.
that have signed up. A lot of players from last year.
Nice.
So
nice.
a lot of, if you've been following, probably a lot of names that you'll recognize. I'm planning on skating as well.
Fantastic.
So that'll be good. I'm excited to skate with some of my old teammates, and yeah, we'll just do like a quick 50-minute scrimmage, split the teams up, put the alumni and some current players on one team, and alumni and current players on the other team, and just have fun. And we're gonna do like breakfast
Nice.
with Barry's Bagels. Yeah, so
Very cool.
super excited because I love Barry's Bagels.
Absolutely.
I love Barry's Bagels. So yeah, I'm super excited because it's something that we haven't necessarily organized in the past.
Yeah.
I think every year there's going to be room for improvement. So we can hey, what worked this year? And that's what I'm really excited about, because if this becomes an annual thing, we're only going to learn ways to make it better.
And hopefully we can get more people from further back and more of the team
Yes.
come together. And if you've been a member of the Michigan women's hockey team, please come out to the alumni games. Keep in touch. Watch the games, because you you're the reason why we can be here right now. Your play, what you've done, is built off of us being here now. So
Absolutely.
thank you for everything you do, and we want to celebrate that. So
Yes.
I love the alumni weekends and trying to keep in touch with past players. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, we want to celebrate them. Our program was founded in '95. It's Team 28. It's going to be Team 30 pretty soon, which is crazy, because, like I said, I didn't even know Michigan had a program, and there were some people I educated this weekend that had no idea.
That's fantastic.
So I'm really excited. I'm hoping there's a lot of pictures taken. But yeah, it's going to be great to see some faces from last year and from years prior. And just like I said, just continue to build it. And how can we support our alumni?
Absolutely.
Because we want to be something that they're proud of, and we're obviously proud of them. So
fantastic.
Working on that relationship is something that's always been on my radar since I was a first-year student. So I'm really excited to see this happening so soon.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It is great, and it's something that it hasn't seemed to be there for the team.
Correct.
And it's something that I think it's so cool when you see the former letter winners come in and celebrate that, and that's something that I'd love to see us get one of the CCWHA championship teams come back to a game and honor them and things like that. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, these are great ideas, so feel free to shoot them over to me whenever.
As I'm randomly talking about in the middle of the coach's show, thankfully, Coach Tribbs listens to me occasionally, and thank you very much. Puts up with my constant ideas.
I love ideas, and I will try to get anything done.
Perfect.
So if there are any crazy ideas, I'll keep trying, and it's exciting. I love the energy.
That's awesome. Well, we're going to keep it short because, again, ice cream is important. You got to get over there for the Washtenaw Dairy. So come on down again. So next Wednesday, 6 o'clock, Regents Field, we will be here. They have the amazing happy hour specials. I know you always get the Regents salad, which you love, which is 8 o'clock on the happy hour. Again, vegetarian quesadilla. I believe my wife had that and loved it. I had the buffalo chicken sliders the other day. They were fantastic. So come on down. We'd love to see you here at Regents Field. Get on out to the scrimmage, 6:30 on Friday. Is the alumni game open to the public as well, or is that just...
That is open as well, I believe. Let me check the time on that. I don't think we changed it. So it is 10:30 to 11:30.
Okay, so 10:30 to 11:30. So you can see some fun action before you watch. Hopefully the Lions bounce back from last week. So I'm still a little wounded by that game. But get out to Washtenaw Dairy until 9:30 tonight. Thank you, Coach, for being here.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And we'll be back next week. Have a fantastic evening and have some ice cream, everybody.